Billy, do you think the king is really upset about the death of the queen?
The new king?
I mean, he's a king now.
There had to be part of him that was like, man, this is finally happening, huh?
I mean, he's like 80.
70 some years. I mean, and he's gonna hold it for a couple of years. And the thing about it is, everybody wants Prince William to be the king because he's so much more liked than Prince Charles or King Charles now.
Right.
He's
And
not
he's
the most
younger.
well-liked guy in the world. You know, and I think people are like, let's get to William, which means they're like, wait a minute, that means Charles has to pass. So hold on, let's not be wishing people dead.
Mike, I had no idea. You really been thinking about this.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, we are big fans of The Crown.
Why?
We love this. I don't know. We're intrigued by it all, how it all runs. And I mean, listen, you got to give her due. 25 years old. 25. She took the crown. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, and held it for 70 years.
Oh.
It's stunning.
It's not like she was elected every couple of years. She just literally had to not die.
It's, you know what is amazing too? It's your job, and the thing that's wild is I hear, okay, Prince Charles, who is a very opinionated guy, now has to basically suppress all his opinions while he's king. I mean, it just gives you further indication of what's the power structure of. Basically, you don't have any, you know? I mean, it's like, okay, now you're king. Now keep your opinions to yourself. Well,
right.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. Billy, that's you're right. She did a tremendous job, and she continued to breathe.
Stayed alive.
She stayed alive.
Look, I'm not going to get to 96, all right? I'm just going to say it now. I have unhealthy habits. It's just probably not going to happen for me, so...
Right.
It's impressive.
I likely will, so, you know.
and listen, and she had her wits about her just about the whole time. I mean, so it's really impressive. I mean, what she's gone through and done and seen, it's pretty wild. But yes, we're big royalty watchers. You know, we watched all the, you know, that's more our age.
Weird thing to be, Mike. I got to be honest with you.
I know. Well, maybe that's to do with Chris was way into it, and I got kind of sucked along in there, and Sydney as well. You know, with all the royal weddings and stuff.
I was just going to ask if you got up at 6 a.m. to watch the royal weddings and all that. So, by the way, God bless football, everyone. This is not at all how I thought we would start today. But
I started there, Bill.
I have a question for you, Mike. So, as our royal expert, how does this play out now? I would assume there will be a grand parade or something to honor her, maybe driving through the streets or something. And then how long before we have the coronation or the public coronation?
Really, the ceremony that's going to go on for her is going to be unbelievable. The amount of dignitaries that are going to fly in from other countries, it's going to be unreal. It's going to be an unbelievable show. I don't know the ramifications, or I should say the procedure of how long it's going to take. You know, they just switched prime ministers. You know, the one was ousted. They have a new one now as well.
Right.
Them's the breaks.
I don't know how long that's. I don't imagine it's going to take too long for now King Charles III to take over. I'd imagine they're gonna do that pretty quickly. But her ceremony is going to be unbelievable.
Do you have any games coming up? What's the timeline on this? Should we reach out to DraftKings, see if maybe you could go be our correspondent over there for all of these things?
Nice, good idea, Bill.
Unfortunately, I have to fly to Dallas. I'm doing Tampa Bay and Dallas. So
that's fine for this week. But, in a couple, maybe next week, just tell your bosses, hey, the Queen died. So
I would love to go over there. Now, there's a couple of London games, but I'm not doing them for Westwood One. I'm doing the Mexico City game in November, but I would love to be doing the London game and really go check things out.
Who's doing it? Pull rank. Just be like I'm Mike effing Golic.
Yeah, exactly.
Kurt Warner's on the thing, too, so you can't really pull rank on Kurt Warner. He's kind of
the Hall of Famer.
kind of a big deal.
He is. Yeah, they made a movie about him.
I know. I was in it, by the way. I was in it and got no credit. I don't think. So.
Really?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I saw the movie. I didn't see you in it.
Then you didn't watch the entire movie. I was in it. I was interviewing him on the sideline when I was covering arena football.
You did not watch the movie.
You were in it.
You didn't watch the movie.
Yeah.
I knew
you didn't watch the movie.
I knew you were lying about this.
He was in it.
I knew you were lying about this.
Billy, I owe Dick Vermeil an apology. I ripped him saying he wasn't a Hall of Famer, but he is. He's a Hall of Fame human being for how he handled Kurt Warner. I said that to you.
Wow.
You know what, Billy? I'm going to turn the tables on you. Mike, how do you feel about Billy during this episode of God Bless Football at some point Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame, is going to join us. I think Billy suggested to him at one point that they changed the play like a champion sign to play like a national semifinalist sign. How do you feel about that?
So it doesn't shock me anything that you or Billy ask, which is always why I say either myself or Gojo, my son, needs to be on the shows.
Yeah. He was there. He let us.
I know. I know. Yeah. I know, because I think I would do all I could to block you from talking to anybody of substance. Because of the questions you asked.
But hold on a second, Mike. He was saying that he wanted to make the school cooler. So we were like, well, maybe here are certain steps. Also, if you listen long enough and you get to Ryan Day, we asked the question everybody's been wondering. Yeah. How's your hair so dark?
Yeah, I know. Things he has to answer. But these are people that Mike and myself have to deal with after they come on the show. No. They come on and you ask them ridiculous questions, and then you're writing a check that we got to cash later for when I go talk to Marcus or talk to Ryan Day, and they're like,
he invited us. He invited us to Notre Dame. He said he'd take us to the sign and everything.
He was just being nice. He wants nothing to do with you. He called me right after the interview and said, "Who are these yahoos?"
Yahoos. Mike, I'm going up there. We're going to spend the weekend at your house. I mean, how about that?
Yeah, you are going to be up here. You're not spending the weekend at my house, but I know you're going to be here.
It's so rude, Mike.
Now Jess is coming up here as well. Right. Her and her boyfriend, she can spend the time at the house, but we'll try and find you some other accommodations.
Okay,
Mike. So
people around there.
Yesterday, I was telling people don't buy in on all the Bills hype. Should I backtrack on that yet?
Wow.
Should I backtrack?
It's like one of those, do you look at that game and you say, I was more impressed with the Bills or more disappointed with the Rams? I mean, to look that good right out of the gate, so many people are picking the Bills. So many people are picking Josh Allen for MVP. And my God, did they look the part? And it could be, a 60-year-old man in Von Miller. That's one of the key linchpins in getting them there.
Mike, I walked away from that game both being impressed with the Bills, equally as impressed with the Bills, and had similar, equal concerns for the Rams because Stafford doesn't look right. That offense doesn't look right. Cooper Kupp's out there by himself. But let's just start with the Bills because that is the story. Josh Allen picked up right where he left off last year, in terms of that playoff game against the Chiefs. Did have the 2 interceptions. One was not his fault. Got hit a lot, Mike, by the way. But I think we're witnessing a Josh Allen who, as confident as he's been in his first few years in the league, Mike, that was like a masterful performance last night. Like, he has total control of that team, total control of that offense. He looked a bit more confident just in terms of, changing the play at the line of scrimmage and stuff like that. It's a guy coming into his own, Mike. He's certainly one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL, if not the best quarterback.
Well, without a doubt.
NFL.
Yeah. And his size helps him. He's incredibly mobile for 6'4", 6'5", 240 pounds. You got to give Ken Dorsey a lot of credit, the new OC and play caller. Brian Daboll leaves to be the head coach of the Giants. So this was Dorsey's first time around and calling the plays. And boy, the play calling looked good. The execution looked fantastic. But I'm with you on Josh Allen. The one thing that everybody will worry about is the fact that he's big and he's not going to juke a lot of people. So he's going to take some hits. He ran the ball. He was a leading rusher as well. Ended up running the ball 10 times. Now, again, those aren't 10 planned runs. Sometimes he's going to take off because he knows he can. He'll throw a nice stiff arm in there like he did last night as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the one worry you have. I remember his rookie year, he started running a lot at the end of the year, and it was impressive. And his second year, they were trying to say, okay, let's not run as much. But then the offense doesn't run as well. You got to kind of let him be him. You got to let him do his thing and run when he wants to run. You hold your breath a little bit because even though he's a big guy, he's still a quarterback and he can get nicked up. But, boy, the passing side of it was incredible. For the 4th time in the last 6 games, they didn't punt. I mean, my God, that's unreal. You're 9 of 10 on third down conversions. Let me just tell you, as a former defensive player, there's nothing more disheartening than not being able to get off the field. You got them in third down, you got one play, and you can get your offense back on the field. And 9 out of 10 of those times, they converted and stayed on the field. It is so disheartening as a defensive player. They shut out this Ram offense in the second half. And you're right, outside of Cooper Kupp, where are they going? Allen Robinson, one of their new receivers only was targeted twice and just had one reception. And at times Stafford looks like Stafford when he's going to throw one or two to the other team.
He had the 3 picks, Mike. Are you concerned about them, or is it's week 1? It's too early to be concerned about anyone, right?
I'd like to say I'm not concerned because it's week 1, but Stafford can concern you, right? I mean, in knowing he can turn the ball over a little bit, can they get a bit of it? They had no running game at all last night. Can they get one of those at all? No, I'm not going to say I'm concerned. It is one game, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can come out of this.
Is that why we saw the rush to lock in McVay? Maybe a little hot seat conversation. If he wouldn't have signed the extension, he was flirting with broadcasting. Now he's there.
That was ridiculous. Anybody that bought into Aaron Donald retiring or Sean McVay going into broadcasting, sorry, not buying it. They were both coming back. It was just talk to get your deals, and they both got their deals. So there was never a concern to me that McVay wouldn't be there or Donald wasn't going to be there.
Mike, this Bills team, because, combination of Josh Allen and the fact that they play in the AFC East, okay? This team, right? This team is going to be a team that plays in the AFC Championship game. They're going to have 14, 15 wins. Everything we said about the Bills leading up to the regular season seems to be accurate. I know listen, the NFL is so unpredictable, and Josh Allen can get hurt in week 2. But if he does not get hurt, Mike, this team is on a path to at least having the opportunity to play a game to get them to the Super Bowl. Meaning they'll get to the AFC Championship game.
They look like they check all the boxes, right? And you're right,
really
because every year we get surprise teams in there, and they were about the biggest lock of every prognosticator out there that, they're going to be the best team in the AFC and represent in the Super Bowl. And they did look at, and for them, I know you do the whole one game at a time thing, blah, 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 but you're right, in that division, they're going to dominate it like the Patriots, have dominated in the past, that division.
Correct.
And that's exactly what you want. You want in January teams to come to Buffalo. Look in the AFC, who could they possibly be against the other top? There's plenty of top teams we're talking about, and some are used to cold weather. But you get the Chargers coming to Buffalo, in January. That's what you're looking for. It's what home field is all about, and that's what I'm sure they have their sights set on, and they have the ability to do it. Just what you said, because of the division they're in.
Yeah, Mikey A., did we have a chance at Josh Allen? Did we pass up on Josh Allen? Was that the Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. We took Sam
Darnold.
Of course you did. You chose second in the draft. Of course you passed up on him.
Third. The Giants chose second.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, yeah.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley. And the Bills moved up to get Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving up to get Josh Allen is proving to be as beneficial as Andy Reid and the Chiefs moving up to get Patrick Mahomes.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
Meanwhile, we just sit there and take Sam Darnold.
Oh, you have Zach Wilson now, so you're good.
Thanks, Mike. I feel
you'll see him in week 4.
Listen, Joe Flacco might be the best opening day quarterback the Jets have ever had. I'm not even joking.
Super Bowl champion.
You're right. And a revenge game, right? Already?
4 years in the making.
He's been waiting for this moment.
Mike, quickly, and we'll get to our guest. And Billy, I'm telling you, Billy not bleeping around first week of God Bless Football.
Yeah.
Help answer a question. Billy thinks that Super Bowl week is better than week 1 in the NFL. I say no. What says you?
Well, I like Super Bowl week better because I don't have a team that I cheer for. I think opening weekend is better overall for the fans because every fan is involved. By the time you get to the Super Bowl, you're down to 2 teams. It's kind of like why the draft is so popular. Every team is involved. So for me, I like the Super Bowl week because, it's the 2 best teams and we're getting to the biggest game, something every player strives for. But for the fans, I completely think it's week 1 because this is a sport in football outside of baseball where it happens occasionally, hockey or basketball, where you can get a losing record team in the Super Bowl the next year. So you truly, as a fan, unless maybe you're a Jet fan, can have hope every single year, unless you're a Jet fan, that you can turn it around. that you had a bad. We know 4 or 5 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year are going to make the playoffs. So I think opening day for the fans is more exciting than the Super Bowl, especially when the Super Bowl comes around and your team's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing they don't get, Mike. I was trying to explain. Analysts like us, we don't have rooting interest. We just call it down the middle. We're fans of the game. So for us, it's like this is the culmination of a great season. We're going to see who's crowned the champion. We're like Stugatz and Mikey A. They're like, oh, the Jets. How are they going to do? Oh, Mike White, like all that stuff.
Can I go back to a quick thing?
Yeah.
Analysts like us?
Yeah.
So what you're
X's and
doing
O's,
is you're
hands
putting
in the
yourself
dirt.
in the
Guys are the
category with me.
The Guardian ranked him as the 4th biggest, best NFL insider. What happened?
Yeah. It was fifth. Don't oversell
fifth.
it.
I'm sorry. He was the 5th best NFL insider in the business, Mike.
Yeah.
David Sampson was 9th, by the way.
Wow. I don't even know where to go with that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to.
Accept it.
Yeah.
He's better
Take
at
their
this than
comments,
you are.
put it in print. Can't tell who said it. Which one of you? Don't know.
So, Mike, when you watch like on Sundays, you never I would assume you like to see the Eagles do well, right?
Somebody just asked me that. Do you root for your former team? And I don't. Nobody is there anymore that was there when I was there. Obviously, certainly from a player standpoint, not even upstairs. But you do lean a little bit toward if you really don't have a horse in the race, kind of, I played there. I loved the city. I loved the fans there. Hardcore for sure, but very passionate. So there's a little bit, I think that's true, where I may lean toward them. Yeah, I would say the biggest one for me is Notre Dame, rooting for them.
We didn't notice.
No, not at all. But I would definitely
whispers.
lean. Yeah, just whispers of everything around me that says Notre Dame on it.
Billy, before he's so mad at us right now, Mike, what game do you have this weekend? It's Sunday night. Do you have the Tampa Bay Dallas game?
I have Tampa Bay Dallas. I'm going to be doing all the Sunday night games, save for one of them will be the Monday night game in Mexico City, Arizona and San Fran. I'll be doing that game as well. But for the most part, Sunday night. So yeah, I'm heading out to Dallas soon. Nice. For that game. Yeah, it should be a good one. Certainly no drama whenever you're talking about the Cowboys or Tampa Bay. Should be fun.
Are you going to be poking around? Do a little poking around. So, because this is what Billy would do as the 5th best insider in the NFL.
Yeah.
A little poking around the Brady situation, if you don't mind,
Yeah, I'll kind of pin him down. We'll have a sit down. We'll have a one-on-one. Respectfully? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, don't cross. Yeah, because people are starting to, gossip about marital situations. That's none of our business.
That's just tough. I agree.
Find out if he's on the Masked Singer or not,
Yeah.
The marriage stuff, who cares?
That's the big thing, because it was that or the Bahamas or the marriage thing. Yeah, I don't want to get involved in that. No.
Exactly.
Mike, quickly, just on the college front, Alabama, Texas, it's really the big game of the weekend. Just your thoughts on there's no way Texas wins that game, right? Alabama too good?
No,
That's all you have to say.
I think this is another one like Georgia and Oregon, where you have two big-time teams facing off against one another. But I think it's going to be a landslide Alabama's way. I don't see this being too competitive. Let me just say, Texas is not back just yet.
No, but they're getting there. Arch is coming.
Arch is coming. It's exactly. Quinn Ewers will have to transfer somewhere else again, right?
Yes. All right, Billy. Who we going to first? First off, do we have this is the first episode of God Bless Football for this football season. So, Mike, thank you for being a part of it. You won't hear Mike the rest of the way here. I mean, we did a lot of work.
Maybe you will.
Mike
you never
was busy.
know.
He had a busy week. We had Mike Golic Jr. join us for some stuff. We had Smetty join us. Yep. Mike Golic Sr. will be on a lot of stuff moving forward. He just had a very busy week.
Yeah, but if
you want to know what he was doing, Billy, to be honest with you, Mike, tell him the story about me talking to you while you were in a casino. I mean,
yeah, Stu and I had a long
Billy,
talk.
You'll love this.
Yeah, Stu and I had a long talk while I was in a casino. He threw me off. I lost about $800 because of him.
Jeez.
No, Billy, when I started talking to Mike, he was swaggering, he was cocky, he was confident. He was like, "Hey, I'm up $300." I hear all these machines in the background. I go, "Mike, are you in an arcade?"
Arcade.
He goes, "What do you have me playing skee ball?"
59-year-old man. He goes, "Are you in an arcade?" I'm like, "What are you do? Arcade?" Now, listen, arcades
Billy
are
loves
fun.
skee ball, though. I
get it. And maybe an arcade is a kid's version of a casino. Right? So maybe that, but arcade, that was hilarious.
Yes, and then so Billy, he's up 300, he's confident. Then I get a text a couple of hours later, lost $800.
Yeah.
You threw me off. You have to be in a mental
the
state
cooler.
to be in a casino. Yeah.
I am the cooler.
The big news
Billy-
there, by the way, though, is we're a couple months away from the Big 6-0. What are we going to do?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Party at your house, South Bend?
I'm not into the birthday parties. Just,
party.
just give me some cake. Let me have some cake and some alcohol, and I'll be good to go.
All right.
Dude
Billy.
coming out of the cake.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, big episode this week, Mike. Oh, and if you want, you can compete against us in DraftKings Daily Fantasy.
Speaking of gambling.
Yeah, go to dkng.co/Lebitard. It's a $3 buy-in. You can win some money. And Mike, just for you, for your 60th birthday, the first guest on this week's episode of God Bless Football, your coach, Marcus Freeman's going to join us. Then later, we're going to talk to the winner of that game, which is Ryan Day. We're also going to talk to Jalen Hurts from your former team, your favorite team, the Eagles that you mentioned. Chris Sims is going to join us. We have a new edition of Stu Yagatz, where Stu Yagatz is going to make all his predictions for the week. Then later on, we're going to talk to Chris Gronkowski, Mojo, K-Funk, Joba Chamberlain, and they're going to bring a surprise guest. Jess is going to be on with us today, and your son, Mike Golic Jr., will be here too. It's a party this week.
Holy smokes, you guys are coming out of the gate strong.
Yes. Yes,
We're
we
setting
are.
up a foundation for disappointment next week, week 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, build it high and then never be able to achieve it again. And make sure at least me or my son is around when you have a serious guest on so you don't screw it up for us.
We will.
We'll get
Let's
you for
go
Mojo
to,
next week.
Let's go to Marcus Freeman. He's the Notre Dame head coach. Billy's going to ask to change the sign from play like a champion to play like a national semifinalist, and I totally agree with him.
Assholes.
Stugatz here. The numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe Home Security to protect their home. I'm one of them. They must be doing something right. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. I know because I use Simply Safe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. We here at the Lebitard Show with Stugatz love our families. We love our yards. We travel a good amount, and Simply Safe makes it easier to check in on our homes and loved ones when we are not there. We also love a good perimeter check. Oh, do I love that. There's nothing better than a relaxing afternoon stroll around the yard just to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. And Simply Safe makes this easier to do with their state-of-the-art technology, crystal clear HD cameras when we are traveling. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/DLB. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/DLB to learn more. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Coach, I am wondering, do the Golics stroll around that place like they still own it? Like, is Mike Golic
absolutely.
Sr. riding around that golf cart like he owns the joint?
Absolutely, they sure do, and nobody says anything to them around here. Look, they do. They go wherever they want.
That is true. We did get to sample the great candy set up in Marcus's office in the in his main coach's office there. His wife puts out a phenomenal. You're correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. Your wife is the one that picked out all the candy in there.
Yeah, she did, but you know, I had a little bit of influence on the Starburst. Like, I'm not a huge yellow and orange Starburst guy.
Oh,
Yeah, get rid of those.
you're a
I said,
Fave
let's
Reds
just keep
guy?
it- Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like to mix
favorites.
like the red and the pink together. I like to mix those two together, right?
Exactly. So now you can get them from the store where it's just the red, pink. It's like the
Fave Reds.
Yeah.
You get the tropical punch one. Oh,
Yeah.
it's delicious.
Exactly right.
I had some this morning.
Wait, tell us about this setup. So what else is there? Like, give us the other candies that are there.
Well, so I got Jolly Ranchers, I got Starburst with just the reds, and then I call it rich people candy. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Truffles or
Right.
Oh, the lint truffles.
yeah, those
Yes.
are. I said those are rich people
Well,
chocolates.
Marcus,
You guys-
how do you know you're one of those rich
Yeah,
people
you're rich now. Are you not aware?
No, I don't think that way. You know, I still
Call it our candy.
Ranchers.
Stugatz, you would know this if you listened to Golic and Smetty, by the way. We went over the candy dish a few months ago, right, Marcus?
Yeah, I saw that. You didn't like What didn't you like?
Starburst. I hate Starburst. I don't like Jolly Rancher either. I'm a chocolate person. I'll eat any piece of chocolate. My boyfriend makes fun of me because after every meal, I tell him I have to wash it down with a piece of chocolate, and he's like, "You're a 70-year-old man," and I'm like,
so the rich people chocolate is perfect for you.
Yeah, there you go.
You saw the way she lit up when you asked about it. She knew the name right away.
Oh, I love a truffle.
Marcus, I'm wondering, even in defeat against Ohio State, what I'm wondering, like, how did it feel? Like, this has been a long time coming for you, being the head coach at Notre Dame, the first game. And so I'm just wondering, like, was there a moment where, right before kickoff, before the game, during the game, where it's like, oh man, I'm the head coach at Notre Dame, I'm in charge of this entire damn thing?
Yeah, I don't know if there was actually a moment, maybe right before we ran out on the field. You talk about your adrenaline rushing, and it's the same thing I remember being a player. Like, before you took the field, you just had those, those rumbles in your stomach. You got the adrenaline, you're ready to roll. And then once you kind of go out there, you just go. You're just in your element. But I think right there as we came out of the tunnel and we were waiting for Ohio State to run on the field, and, I kind of took a moment to look around and said, okay, it's real. Let's go.
Did you get emotional?
No. I did. I went back in 2019 when I was at Cincinnati, and I remember coming out a little bit early that game. I was just a defensive coordinator, and I kind of watched the band. I'm like, man, that time I kind of looked around, was like, okay, I got a little emotional. Like, this is different. I've never been here on the visitor side, but it was all business on Saturday.
I know you're not on social media nearly as much as all of us, but what do you make of the fact that for the first time in a while, it seems like people who don't normally like Notre Dame are starting to come around to the idea of Notre Dame because you are a very likable head coach?
Well, I hope it helps with recruiting. I told our guys earlier, I said, hey, did anybody watch the TV copy? And one of the recruiting guys who wasn't at the game said, I did. I said, did it at least make Notre Dame look cool? Like, if you're a recruit, do you want to come to Notre Dame? He was like, Coach, I want to come play for you. I said, okay, that made me feel better, And so as long as we make Notre Dame attractable, that's what I want.
Well, what's the least cool thing about Notre Dame? Like, what are the things we need to clean up to make it look cooler?
That's a great question.
It's perception, it's perception of old and boring. And, we have to make it where it's actually attractable, but to me, it's the ability to explain what those perceptions of being old and boring really do for you. Like the Notre Dame network, the education, and what this place, even more than football, does for you, because that ultimately, as you go throughout life, is what is attractable, right? Is when you're able to use your degree and have a good job and make some good money, that to me is what everybody aspires to do.
Well, some coaches have taken to doing dancing with some recruits with like one of those 360 cameras going around them. Is that something you think maybe would attract more people to Notre Dame? Or
hey, if it would help get a recruit, I'll do whatever. Just one thing you'll learn about me is if it helps with the recruiting and it helps get players to Notre Dame, I'm all in.
4-star or better, though.
No doubt. Listen, not if it's lower than a 4-star. No.
The standard is the standard now around there. Coach, coming off that game with all the emotion and everything, and then watching it actually play out the way it did, a lot of people had opinions on and always offer them on Notre Dame in the big game scenario. Usually it's at the end of the season, though. You guys played one of the biggest games of the season, week one, right out of there. So what is your message to the team going to be coming off that? What do you think you got out of this game that you can build off of as a team?
Well, we met as a team yesterday, and I explained to them that it wasn't their effort. I loved the way they prepared. I thought they were prepared. It was just the execution when it mattered the most. And there's plays all over the game that we wish we could have back, but when it mattered the most late in the game, we didn't execute the way we should. And when you play a great team like Ohio State, what happens is they score 14 points in the game and we score 0. And all of a sudden you go from being up 3 points to losing 21-10. And so the message is this has to be the floor. And that's what I told him yesterday. This is the foundation of what this 22 team is going to be about. That, to me, is what we have to build upon. And if we continue to do that and we continue to get better from that game and that performance, we're going to have a pretty good team.
What'd you walk away from feeling good about as it relates to your team? Like, whether the defense played great, your guys didn't cave in a big spot against a really good team. What are some of the things you felt good about, even in defeat, walking away from that game?
I think, as you said, there was moments both sides of the ball showed that, listen, we can play with the best team in the country. And if we come out and we execute some of those, when you go back and watch them on Sunday, you say, some of those moments were only if we did this, right? Only if we would have done this. If we learn to execute during those times, we have a team that can play with anybody in the country, no matter what the rank is, no matter who they are. And so I love the grit. I love the physicality we played with. We played a physical, tough game. I love the play of our quarterback. I came out of that game saying, you know what? We have a quarterback that can make good decisions. That's going to be the future of our program. And, for him to have his first start in Ohio Stadium and not a hostile environment, I was really pleased with some of his decision-making. There's a lot of room to grow, and I can go on and on about the growth, but I was pleased with the effort, the physicality, and where we can move forward from here.
Do you think there's any component of what you envision Notre Dame's identity on the field to be this season that you weren't really able to put on display because you were playing such a high caliber opponent in week one?
Yeah, I think you will see an offense that's more versatile. I've talked to Coach Reese about this in length, in that he's showed the ultimate display of a teammate. And that's what he did on Saturday. When I walked into his office weeks ago and I said, this has to be the plan. We have to make sure we control the ball and we limit Ohio State's offense to 12 possessions or less. And we did. And we limited them to 11 possessions because I believed that was going to be a key for us to win. And if you looked at every game Ohio State has lost, really, I think since 2019 or 18, I can't remember what year it was, they had 12 possessions. They were below their normal average of possessions. And so I knew that had to be a key for us. And so there was times, I'm sure Tommy wanted to throw it or Tommy wanted to do some different things. I said, we have to run the ball and we have to continue to get this clock going. And he did it. And listen, he took more blame than anybody. And that's who Tommy Reese is. But I told him, you displayed more to me about who you are as a teammate to this staff and what you view as what's important for this program and anything. And so I believe in the future, you'll see an offense that kind of continues to do this because we have plenty of talent. Tommy Reese is an unbelievable mind. But for that game, we needed them to kind of just hone in on the package on what we were trying to do and be able to run the ball at times. And even if we didn't get many yards, you know what? We needed that clock to run.
You know what? I'll say it. Tommy Reese has been taking undeserved shit from this fan base for a long time, both as a player and a coach. So if anyone's used to it, listen, Tommy as a player had to deal with this all the time from people in this fan base. I love Notre Dame fans, but at some point, I'm going to take up from my guy. Wow. It was
Gojo, Marcus Freeman was doing a great job of making me. No, Gojo, hold on a second. No, Marcus Freeman was doing a great job of making me actually like Notre Dame for a minute, and you just undid everything that he did. Okay,
yeah, he's right.
You and your defense of Tommy Reese. What's the matter with you?
Listen, Coach just said it. Tommy Reese went out there and executed the game plan that they needed. All he has done as a coach is showed us that he could morph offenses to whatever personnel's been out there, and you still get people that are barking up the wrong tree. And I was just sick of it. Again, I love Notre Dame fans, but calm down.
That is a teammate right there. The passion he has for defending his former quarterback. That is a teammate right there. I love it.
No, you were doing a tremendous job. Like, I've never liked Notre Dame a day in my life, and I was starting to like him until Gojo went on a Tommy Reese rant.
Hey, Gojo, let me handle this from now on, all right? Let me handle this.
Coach can see himself losing recruits in South Beach now because of what I said with Stugatz there. He's like, hey, dial it back a little bit. Love the passion. Dial it back.
Coach, I am wondering, it's impossible not to notice. I have to ask you. I don't know if you checked it out, if you're looking across the opposing sideline, but I have to ask you this question, okay? Like, if you had to be right, okay, your life depended on your answer being right, okay? Do you think Ryan Day dyes his hair?
Wow. You shook his hand after the game.
You shook his hand. Yeah. You got an up-close look. I have to. We're friends now. I'm part of the Notre Dame family. I'm coming to a game with Gojo. Hopefully you have sideline passes for me.
Good jeans or good docs.
Yeah.
No, listen, man. I would not going to do. You know what? I've gotten to know Ryan Day pretty well. You know, I'm not pleading the fifth. I'm going to say no. You know?
Okay. Oh, come on.
What about just his beard? Coach. What about just the beard, though?
Now that he's got a strong beard game. Sometimes that's enhanced in certain ways, but it is strong. I tell you that he's got a strong beard game. Yeah,
Billy is outraged right now,
Coach.
I saw him in a restaurant in Vegas eating breakfast. I resisted the urge to go over there and say anything about what I thought the outcome of the game was going to be. I took the high road on that one. Notre Dame, man, it's what we do. But I went over and I did see just close enough. That beard is real. There's no dye in there.
Really?
That thing is
That's
luscious.
impossible. Come on.
Maybe a little Sharpie, maybe.
I feel like there's a couple people in this Zoom that need to go to confession after this.
Marcus Freeman is with us, head coach at Notre Dame. That feeling we talked about right before the Ohio State game that you had, I'm assuming you'll have similar feelings, if not more, before you coach your first home game, right? Coming up this week?
Oh yeah, it'll be surreal for sure. I've run out of that tunnel a couple of times, right? I've run out of it as a defensive coordinator. I've run out of it in the spring game, but to run out of the tunnel as the head coach at Notre Dame with this football team it's going to be obviously one that you remember for the rest of your life. So I'm excited for it. The first real one, chance to lead this team out in Notre Dame Stadium is going to be one to remember.
I saw on the Fighting Irish Twitter account that they're handing out Marcus Freeman commemorative cups for your first game. How many of those are you going to collect for your home?
Wait, Coach, why are you shaking your head? What's the matter?
I mean, I saw somebody show me a picture of, who wants a cup? I try to tell these people, make this thing about Notre Dame football, and the first thing I see is a cup with my face on it for the first game. I know I wasn't too happy about that, but listen, there's some things I'm not going. There's some battles I'm not going to fight, and I let them do it for that one. But no, those cups will not be in the Freeman household. I promise.
What if it was like a candy dish?
Yeah.
Or
That
bobblehead?
would be bad decoration for the office.
Coach, I had an idea. You were saying you wanted to get rid of some things to make Notre Dame not seem so lame and cooler.
Yeah, what you got?
Okay, what if,
That's a fine, Bill.
and hear me out here,
Cool.
what if we get rid of the fight like a champion today sign?
Oh, play like a
Everybody-
champion.
whatever it is. Yeah, that
Wow.
thing.
Yeah, what do you
Have
think?
you ever touched that? Have you ever been there?
Well,
No, I'm going to when
yeah.
when I come to a game with Gojo and Smetty, and
Yeah. Well, you'll see it and you'll appreciate it. You know what I mean? I listen. I watch Rudy like the rest of us, and before I got here, I probably thought it was old and boring too. But that thing, listen, when you get the chance to see that in person, you'll realize that's one of the things that makes this place cool. You just got to get it. You got to get here, and you got to see it. You got to be a part of it. You know. But that'll be something. I promise. You'll leave here and say, "Okay, I get it. That's pretty cool."
Coach, important follow-up to the sign portion because, and Stugat, since you guys aren't familiar with this, I'll paint the picture. When you walk down the tunnel there, obviously there's the, sign at the bottom, the Play Like a Champion Today sign. Above it is a sign with the records and years of all the national champions at Notre Dame. And right to the right, before you walk down the stairs, there's the Notre Dame Leprechaun sign there that says Fighting Irish on it also. And usually going down the stairs before the game, it's like having a handshake with someone else in line. Everyone's kind of got their own little routine with that, their own little routine. I was a two-fist guy when I got to the bottom for the Play Like a Champion sign. I was a bump slide guy on the Fighting Irish sign up on the top. So, Coach, have you figured out what your home game routine is going to be yet for the signs? Because I feel like that's pretty important.
Yeah. So when I got here, right, I was one of those guys that like, man, what is all this,
Stupidity.
hoopla about the
Nonsense
sign,
is
right?
what it
Corniness,
is.
yeah.
Then I started seeing everybody do all these handshakes and touching it and doing it in specific ways. And I didn't want to cave into that. I said, you know what, I'm going to be the guy that just touches sign. But I always touch the same place. I touch the O where it says today.
You should touch the O in champion, Coach, I think. Yeah.
But you can't be a champion unless you start today.
That's right. I
All
touch
right.
the O. That's what I do every time. But I don't have the same thing that Golic has and some of those other guys, man. I'm like, you guys spend too much time on that.
Wait, Golic, would you ever go out and not touch the sign? Like, what if a player doesn't touch the sign? Does anything happen? What happens?
You don't even. Honestly, Stugat, no one's ever had to even think about that because you just touch
Yeah,
the sign.
why would you do that?
What if
Why
you
would you?
forget? Do you go
What
back?
if you don't feel like playing like a champion today?
Yeah.
Like,
Then you don't belong at Notre Dame.
Yeah, they're in the wrong place.
You guys, when I was little, my dad hung a Play Like a Champion Today sign like over the staircase to our basement, and every single time I walked down the stairs, I tapped it. And I didn't even play football. You
That's
just gotta
right.
tap the sign, Stugats.
Notre Dame.
Wow.
Oh, Rudy was offsides.
No, but he's trying to make it cool. Like, he's trying to make
Yeah.
it cooler and hipper, and you don't do that with Rudy and then play like a champion today.
Stugats, I'm telling you, that sign, when you get a chance to come down here
Yeah.
and we take you down through the tunnel, I promise you're gonna understand it.
But-
It's just one of those things you got to experience.
No, but honestly, the sign should say play like a college football playoff semifinalist today because we're far from the champion right now.
Wow.
And so now he's trying to bash. You're trying to bash a little bit now. You're doing a little bit too much for me.
Coach, I got to be honest. You have done a tremendous job. I want to play for you. I want to root for you. I don't know what I'm really conflicted now. Like the Golics didn't do anything compared to what you're doing right now. Okay, I want to become a Notre Dame fan. So if I come to a game, can I be like an honorary fan? Like how does this work?
Absolutely. We're gonna take a sign. We're gonna take a picture with you by the Play Like a Champion sign. All right.
Yes.
And that's for sure. We're gonna have to do that. But
yes.
Spend 24 hours here. You'll leave here saying, okay, this is a place I would have loved to go. That's all we need is 24 hours.
So my daughter committed to Northwestern. They're playing Notre Dame in October. I will be there for 24 hours. Are you telling me that in those 24 hours, you will convince me? That's all I need. Just spend 24 hours. I will walk out of there being a Notre Dame fan.
Absolutely. That's
oh, my God. I can't wait.
I'm trying to have you committed by the time you leave.
We'll skip touchdown Jesus, Stugatz. We'll just go straight to first down Moses.
Okay. I mean, geez, a lot of things to I mean, just play football. How's that sound?
It's going to be part of your Stugatz. It's going to be part of your tour. We're going to have the graphic made by the digital media department when you commit to Notre Dame. It's going to be perfect.
I can't wait. This is amazing. And sideline passes, of course, Coach. Can I call play? Well, I just want to see how far I can take this.
Yeah, well, let's stop right there with sideline pass. We'll get you stop at that.
Coach, good luck against Cal, and good luck the rest of the season. You shouldn't have any trouble recruiting, man. I think you kind of recruit yourself, and the school sort of helps, but you do a pretty damn good job, man.
No doubt, man. Well, thanks for having me on the show. This was fun. It's good to see you. We'll see you guys when you're on campus.
Very exciting. Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, with us here on God Bless Football. He is with us on behalf of Champ Sports. They are gearing up to launch a new collection for the retailer's in-house line called Field Day on September 21st. In fact, let's start right there, Jalen. Why don't you tell us how you got connected with Champ Sports, what you're doing with Champ Sports. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah, Champs has obviously been a very influential brand for me for a long time. As a kid, every time, it was time to go shoe shopping, we go to Champs, go find a new pair of shoes, go find some gear. It's just kind of been a part of my childhood, going to the mall. That was always the place to go. Just trying to bring that to life for all the other kids now coming up in these days, you know what I mean? So it's been a great partnership.
Well, I'm going to try to do this a little bit differently and try to have some fun with you, okay? And let people, get to know the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going to do some fill in the blanks, true and false, and we got a little game for you at the end, okay?
Let's see what you got.
Jalen Hurts' irrational fear is blank. I'm afraid of frogs. Mike Trout said he's afraid of snakes. That's not terribly irrational. Do you have an irrational fear?
I'm not a swimmer.
You don't like swimming. Okay.
I don't like getting in big bodies of water.
The ocean scares you. Not knowing what's in that ocean scares the shit out of you, doesn't it?
Rather not put myself in that position,
The song Jalen Hurts will sing out loud every time he hears it is blank.
Probably a Frankie Beverly song, Anita Baker song. Golden Time of Day by Frankie Beverly.
You mentioned Anita Baker. Anita Baker was on The Masked Singer a couple seasons ago. Did you see the rumors that Tom Brady just disappeared for 11 days to be on The Masked Singer?
Yeah, I heard about it. People had a lot of time on their hands, so I guess that's what it was.
Brady shouldn't have to practice anymore, right, Jalen? Like, he doesn't need to do that, right?
Hey, none of my business. I don't really speak on it.
What's a skill or a hobby that would surprise us about Jalen Hurts?
I can grill, cook, boil really good crawfish, seafood, fry some good chicken.
What's your go-to meal? Like, what's the best thing you can make?
When in doubt, I know I can throw some chicken on the grill. That's pretty simple fix. Boil some crawfish when it's crawfish season. I don't make anything that tastes bad.
Jalen Hurts with us on behalf of Champ Sports. The best college football coach in the country is blank.
Coach Saban. I think Coach Saban, what he's done continuously throughout the years, I think that's a no-brainer, and I feel like there are a lot of coaches out there that model what they do after what he's done, and obviously everything comes from somewhere. I think he's well-respected, and he's been so consistent, just producing and winning championships, conference championships, national championships. So everybody has a lot of respect for him.
In a weird game where Jalen Hurts wins $100 million because he tells the best Nick Saban story, the best story you would tell that you can tell would be blank.
It's very funny. He's a funny guy. He's kind of laid back with it. People may not think he's being funny in the moment, or they may think he's actually being, locked in, tense, serious in the moment. But if you did the things you're supposed to do, you follow this process and you bought into what he was saying. Like he really acted like one of the guys. You know what I mean? So we had a number of fun times out there on the lake. Not so much a joke, but it's just funny thinking about how we go. He had this big old, I think it's called water rafting or something. I don't know. I don't mess with the water.
Well, yeah. How does that work? Like Nick Saban invites you to his house to go out on the lake, but you don't like the water. So what do? Do you say no thanks, coach, or you just kind of have to suck it up and go?
I stay on the boat.
Yeah.
He had this boat. He'll drive this boat, and then basically like players rotate, coming. You know what I'm saying, doing the water rafting basically. So he like dragons, and it's just funny seeing like he thought that was so funny. You know what I mean?
Is he there
trying? So funny, but he was loose. He was loose.
Is he trying to flip you guys? Like he's trying to throw you guys off the raft?
No question. He's trying to make us fall. He's trying to test us. So,
Billy, I love the vision of Saban trying to flip Derrick Henry.
And injure his own players just so that he can kind of laugh at it.
It's all right. He's got backups, and we're better than those guys.
I feel like you guys see a very different Saban because, like, the rumor is that, like, Nick Saban, you're saying he likes to joke around. Like, one of his favorite things to do is have D's nuts jokes. And, like, if you see him from the outside, you're like, no, this is just like the serious old man.
He's definitely. I know everybody knows about those jokes. He's definitely done them. It kind of got played out for real. You know what I mean? But it's funny that he keeps on telling them and he keeps on trying. It's like you can't help but laugh at it. You know what I mean?
Does he jump on the raft with you guys? Like, will he allow someone else to drive the boat while he's on the raft? And if so, do you guys try to flip him over?
Nah, we wouldn't do that.
You're not crazy enough. We're based down in Miami. We're a Miami-based show. We're national, but a Miami-based show. And so I am wondering, as someone who knows Tua very well, who played alongside Tua, try to make Dolphin fans feel good. Tua's ceiling as an NFL quarterback is blank.
I'll just say this. I said it last week, just talking about the joint practices we had. I think Tua do great things. He has a ton of ability. He's always had ability. He has a great team around him too. So I wish him nothing but the best.
The Eagles will win the NFC East. True or false?
Next question.
A little game called Jalen or J-Lout. Okay, so Jalen, you're in. J-Lout, you're not a fan of. Okay, ties in the NFL. Jalen or J-Lout?
Oh no.
Yeah, you're out on that. Of course, you play a game. You don't want it to end in a tie. What the hell is that?
Play to win.
Right, or lose. Right, exactly. Running up the score, Jalen, J-Lout.
That's a little personal right there. Respect the game, Respect the game, respect the opponent within reason.
Yeah, but you got to pad those stats a little bit. You know what I mean, Jalen? Like you saw what Kyler Murray got and Russell Wilson got. Like you keep healthy and keep padding those stats. And you don't need to answer this to guys' $100 million hypothetical questions because you're gonna get like 3.
It'll always handle itself out, man. Ain't no pressure.
Peeing in the pool, Jalen or J-Lout?
That's so nasty. Can't do that.
Don't go swimming at Stugatz's.
I feel like another reason why I stay away from the water.
There you go. Right, there's too much urine in it.
You never know what people are doing in the pool. But
how about the shower? You in or out on that? I mean, Jalen,
I think you got a toilet for
the water's
toilet for a reason.
Exactly.
You got a toilet for a reason.
No, you got a shower for a reason too. Jalen, you've been great, man. Good luck this season. Tell us one more time because what you're doing with Champs is fantastic. So tell us again what you're doing with Champ Sports on the way out here.
Yeah, man, we're just bringing more attention to the new line that's dropping. They're doing so many great things, and for me, I've always been big on service, trying to impact the youth in any way I can, and I know they've been a great help in that throughout my service in the community of Philly and across the country soon to be. So there's great things coming for Champs.
All right, man. Listen, you're not going to say it, but I will. The Eagles are going to win the NFC East in large part because of you. Okay.
I like your energy. Let's do it.
All right, Jalen. Good luck this year. Keep up the great work, both with the Eagles and with Champ Sports. We appreciate your time, man.
I got you. Hey, and I'm about to go watch my high school play, so I give a little shout out on the podcast, the Channel V Falcons. They started off, we lost last week, but hopefully we get it done tonight. So
Go play for them. Just sneak out there. Who's going to say anything?
See if you can sneak in there. Like, put a high school jersey on and go play quarterback.
This is a bye week for me. I may need some extra reps, so I may put my own stuff on.
You would dominate a high school.
Yes, two guys, you would.
Hey, it's Texas. It's Texas.
That's true.
Texas high school football. I've seen a lot of things, you know.
Right. Oh, nothing would make us happier than you playing quarterback for your high school.
Nothing would make them happier either.
I'm just joking.
Jalen, good luck this year.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you.
It is time for this week's edition of Stu Ya Got's Week 1 in the NFL. Football is back. All lines courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use code STU for a special offer when you sign up. That's code STU, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's start with the college games on Saturday. We start in Coral Gables. Not really. Miami Gardens. It's 45 minutes away. It's weird. But the Canes are back. I mean, Mike Ryan tells me the Miami Hurricanes picked up the assistant coach of the year in the offseason. If the U is back, they will beat Southern Miss by 42 points at home. They are minus 24.5. I have the Canes winning by 42 points. That's right. 6 touchdowns. The big game of the weekend, Alabama at Texas. What a great matchup. Classic teams here. I have Texas not winning the game. I have Bama winning the game, Texas covering the spread. Alabama wins it by 17. Little SEC matchup, Arkansas -8 at home against South Carolina. Not buying the Gamecocks. I'm sorry, Arkansas wins the game by 14 points. The Pitt Panthers at home +6.5, taking on Tennessee, the Vols. How about that? Pitt is ranked, and they're getting 6.5 at home. I'll take the Panthers. Panthers win outright. They win the game by a field goal. Florida might have the best quarterback in the country, could win the Heisman Trophy. They had a big victory last week against Utah. They're taking on Kentucky. Kentucky is sneaky good, but this game's being played at the Swamp. I love the Gators. The Florida Gators win by 7 points. They cover the spread. USC -8.5 at Stanford. Little Saturday night in Stanford, Northern California. USC, they've either lost or haven't covered 3 of the last 4 trips to Stanford, but this is a different USC team. This is Lincoln Riley's USC team. He loves offense. He loves running up the score. And USC wins by 17 points. BYU -4 at home against Baylor. If this game was played at Baylor, I'd take Baylor. It's not. It's being played in Provo. And very few, if any, teams stroll into Provo on a Saturday night and come out alive, let alone win a football game. I have BYU, big game here, and I have BYU winning the game by 7 points. We go to the NFL, Week 1. I am so excited. I have the Bears +7 at home against the 49ers. 49ers win the game, Bears cover, 49ers win by a field goal. The Bengals -6.5. They're taking on the Steelers. I have the Bengals winning by 2 tutties. Philadelphia, I love this team. They're at Detroit. I love Dan Campbell. Philadelphia's -4. The Eagles win by 10 points. The Dolphins at home -3 against the Patriots. I'm not buying Mac Jones. I'm not buying the Patriots. I am big time buying Tua and the Dolphins. I think they're going to be good. Plus, it's going to be 1,000 degrees down here. I have the Dolphins winning by 7 points at home. Revenge game, Carolina, Baker Mayfield, -1.5, taking on the Browns. No Deshaun Watson. We should never see him play football again. We digress. Carolina wins the game by 7 points at home against the Browns. The Chiefs, only because Tyreek Hill said that Patrick Mahomes was not as good as Tua, I believe the Chiefs are going to run roughshod across the NFL. This is a tough game, but the Chiefs by 14 at Arizona. Kyler Murray too busy playing video games. How about that? The Bucks, because everyone's saying Tom Brady, 11 days off. That's not the Tom Brady we know. He's usually locked in. He cares about the team. He cares about the process. Don't do it. I care about you. Brady's going to show you it doesn't matter. None of it. He just needs to show up Sundays. The Bucks beat the Cowboys by 7 points in Dallas. Jerry Jones fires Mike McCarthy. And I've never done this before. An over-under. Packers. Little side. Listen, I'm just sneaking in a little last pick here. I'm doing it for you. All right? The over-under Packers-Vikings is 47. Way over. Those are the picks this week. Good luck, everyone. Sims, are you fired up for Texas, Alabama this week?
I mean, I am. You know that.
Like for Alabama, right?
Well, no, definitely not. I love the traditional old school matchups, right? I mean, I am that way. I don't think we're like in their class yet. You know what I mean? We're not there yet. We're like in the process of rebuilding, but it'll be cool to see both teams on the field again. You know, not a rivalry, but two storied franchises. And yeah, we're just not really, I don't think, like, I would think we're going to lose by 20. I'm hoping we don't, but I don't think we're in their class right now.
Sim, so you're headed over to the stadium, little dress rehearsal. What are we doing here?
Yeah, a little dress rehearsal. You know, NBC, we rehearse the rehearsal. Like, that's how we work here at NBC. They're like, you know what? We should rehearse the rehearsal so we're good for the rehearsal. And you're like, me. I mean, holy shit. Only thing I'm worried about, Stugotz, right now is the heat. It is hot as hell here. And as you guys can imagine, wearing a suit and a tie when it's 90 degrees out doing a show is not exactly the best recipe for, you know, looking cool on TV.
So what do they do for you? Like Herbstreit has these like air-conditioned suits. Like what do they do for Chris Sims? Huh?
They don't do anything. They tell Chris Sims to just suck that shit up and let's keep going.
Listen, here's the positive, though. You're in a weed legal state, okay?
I know. But I'm back on schedule here right now. You know, right. I don't know. See, we went a little time without talk. I took the majority of the month of August off. I didn't smoke weed like for 27 days.
Are you okay?
And it was tough, but I'm okay. And now I'm back on the weekend only schedule.
Was it like a purge? You just decided or what?
Well, I just, you know, you get to the point where, you know, first off, it's just like, okay, let me give my lungs a little bit of a break because I'm a smoker, right? I like to smoke flower. And then, you know, through the month of July, my month off, when you're smoking, you know, a blunt that has an eighth of weed in it every day, that's when you got to go, yeah, maybe I should dial it back a little bit, you know? So that's where I had to readjust a little.
Jesus Christ, Sam.
Exactly, right.
If I smoked an eighth a day, I'd take a month off too, I guess.
Well, that's what I mean. Nobody, people don't understand who they're. I'm like the Bob Marley of the football world, the Snoop Dogg of the football world. I can mess with those guys. I can sit there with them all day long and hang right with them.
An eighth a day, huh?
Yeah, I was a little out of control.
Christ,
I know. I mean, I smoke backwoods, right? So they're like, it's a backwood is like a tobacco leaf too, a 100% tobacco leaf. So you really got to roll the leaf around it. Yeah, I'm a pro over here, no doubt about it.
Damn.
I don't want to bring this back to football because it seems like you guys are having fun, but I feel like a little conversion here. I feel like you've softened on Tua. I saw that Tuanon's a little confused by you now. You have him making the playoffs, but losing in the first round. Like, what's going on? Because I've seen in the Tuanon universe that they think they're trying to figure you out, Sims. They're trying to figure out what you have cooking right now.
Listen, I know it's a quarterback league and all of that stuff, and we talk about that all the time. But listen, this is where I don't get like I said this and I'm going to stick to it forever. Like that's not no. I mean, first off, it's the ultimate team sport, and that's where I constantly am trying to remind people that you got to have a team around you. I don't care who you are. And Billy, I think you've known me long enough now to know, like I like when we can get to, oh, look, Jared Goff and the Rams got to the Super Bowl. It wasn't about the quarterback that year. Case Keenum and the Vikings got to the NFC Championship game, and the same year Blake Bortles did, right? I mean, Nick Foles beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. He must have been the top 5 quarterback in the game at that time. So that's where I like pushing against that narrative a little. Peyton Manning in 2015, I know he's Peyton Manning, and he's like definitely one of the 3 greatest quarterbacks of all time in my eyes. But in 2015, he was the worst quarterback in football, like the worst. There's no debate. And they won the Super Bowl because why? The team was awesome. So that's where, you know, Tua, I liked what I've seen in the preseason. But they're a team that I look at that's not going to have to put it on his shoulders. This is not going to be like the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes show. We're going to be like, drop back 40 times a game and just make magic happen. They're going to run the ball. You're going to have a top-tier defense. They're going to throw passes that make sense for Tua. So that's where I look at it and go, just because I'm not in love with Tua doesn't mean they can't still win a lot of games and be a big player in the AFC. Eagles in the NFC, same thing.
Yep. Me and Greg Cody have the Dolphins winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's a little crazy, but
right.
You know my questions about Tua, and that to me is okay. I mean, it would have to fall the right way. I am not sold that he's going to be able to play in elements late in the year. You've heard me say that a lot.
Yep.
And I'm still not sold in now they're playing a really good defense. They've taken away some of the Mike McDaniel tricks and the speed sweeps from Tyreek Hill and all these plays. And now it's like, oh, crap, the quarterback's going to have to make some throws in the pocket to push the ball down the field. That's what I still question. But, again, I think it's a talented team to where that might only happen a few games the whole year where it's going to be asked upon Tua to kind of make those type of plays.
Check him out, PFT with Mike Florio on Peacock every single day. Unbuttoned Podcast is doing fantastic. Football Night in America as well. He'll be all over your NFL coverage. Not just this weekend, the entire year. Billy, you know what's going to happen here. The Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl, and Sims is going to tell us they won despite Tua. That's where this whole thing is headed, Billy. Yeah, a man who doesn't stay entrenched.
well, it's, we've fallen into this trap of always making it about the quarterback right now. And I understand that. It's set up for the quarterbacks to take over. But, again, it's still the ultimate team sport, in my opinion. And there's a lot of instances in history where I'd go, hey, Phil Simms beat John Elway. That shouldn't happen if we're just all about the quarterback. Why did he do that? That shouldn't happen. Well, Phil was good, but the Giants were definitely better than the Broncos. So, Trent Dilfer, winning the Super Bowl. Again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but none of us were sitting here going, oh, this is an all-time great, and this offense is amazing. No, there's a lot of examples like that.
Don't do that to Big man.
Yeah.
He was 22 or 25 in that Super Bowl.
Well,
legendary performance.
Sometimes that's the one that hits home with people when they realize, wait, he's not being biased. He's giving real answers here. And when you take in your own father into the equation, it's like I always say with all right, so if it's all about the Super Bowls, then we got to start saying Phil Simms is better than Dan Marino. It's just we got to do it, right? And that's not true. That's just not true.
Well, in fact, your dad won two.
Awesome.
Your dad won two. He's pissed that Hostetler won that Super Bowl, right? Like they were 10-1, I believe, when your dad went out. Like that team, that team would have won with Jeff or your dad at quarterback, correct? Like he's bitter about that a little.
Well, I know he's not bitter, but it's not bitter. He's very grateful for it. Right. He really is in a lot of ways. To your point, I'll say this though. I do think there's a part of my dad, and I don't want to speak for him here, but I think he knows that he'd probably be in the Hall of Fame if he had got to play in that Super Bowl and played in that Super Bowl and they won. That probably is the thing that'll keep him out, and that stinks, as his son and just as a football fan. But that's just the reality of the situation.
He probably should be in the Hall of Fame. We have Dilfer on God Bless next week, by the way. So we'll tell him that you compared your dad to Trent Dilfer.
I was no just Dilfer. I have tremendous respect for. He's stuck in a very tough situation.
Oh, he did.
Well, I'm just using
before
my
you knew he
Shut
ran
up, Billy. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Here we go.
Just grant us this, Chris.
Yeah.
Tua's going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
No, I mean maybe in this day and age in the NFL, when the top nine quarterbacks cancel out of the Pro Bowl and he's option 10.
Well, he's not going to be able to play. He's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, you just keep chasing Miguel Cabrera around the country. Okay,
whoa.
See you later.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Billy, he started by saying he likes you. You're on a quick road to him hating your guts again. How do you feel about the Jets? It's funny with Zach Wilson because there were reports maybe he'd be ready for week 1. He got the surgery. Now they're saying week 4. So how do you – and you like Zach Wilson. I still like Zach Wilson. Mikey A can't stand them as a Jet fan. How do you feel about the Jets and how they're handling Zach Wilson? I think you got to be cautious here, right?
You got to be cautious. I already see too many people out there who are like, oh, this is a negative. This is a benching. No, it's not. Zach Wilson was blowing them out of the water before he got hurt. He was so much dominating the other quarterbacks in camp that I think I told you, Stu guys, they were afraid to talk about it. He was doing so well. So this is a tough situation, and one where, you can easily, if you make the wrong decision, it can spiral out of control. Oh, wait, hey, you get to play the Ravens, and you're less than 100%, and we're not the greatest team in football. And okay, now you don't play well, and we lose, and you got jerks like Mikey A going, oh, they should have started Flacco. Oh, they should have done that. First off, why, Mikey, why don't you like Zach Wilson? Why? Because he goes to sporting events? What is it?
No, mostly because he's terrible. Mostly because he's terrible.
How are you going to judge? How are you going to judge? Like, why? How are you going to judge he's terrible like that? And just off of that crap team you had last year, all the injuries, and then as well as he played at the end of the year, you think that was terrible? Like, that's where I don't understand that. I mean, he outplayed Tom Brady. He outplayed a lot of guys at the end of the year. He played great.
Who won that game?
Chris, let me just at the most basic
that's
level.
Not his fault.
Right.
But there you go. You're going to make it a one guy again, Mike A. Come on, learn something. Adjust to life here. Evolve.
Yeah.
But Sims, the premise is he's the Jets quarterback. Like if Aaron Rodgers were on the Jets, Mikey A, and I would be with him. You could think the worst.
Sims, he's absolutely right. You could be 100% right. He could be as good as you say. He will never be that because of where he got drafted.
I know. I get that. We'll see. I don't know. I don't understand that about the Jets fans. You guys love these underdogs who are no good.
History
you
mostly.
Latch on that. Let me latch on to Mike White and 4-yard throws.
Sims.
Let me put my name to that. So that's
Sims, you put out your top 40 quarterbacks.
Right.
From 22 to 40 were 3 Jet quarterbacks that they took. That's why.
Okay, but that
22 to 40.
That goes deeper than the player, right? That's just there's more to that. So that's where I don't agree with that all the way. You got to evaluate it as a whole. And Zach Wilson, I think the arrow is still big time up. And to get back to the question itself, Stu Gotts, listen, they got a tough early schedule, and when you're a young player, not 100%, and it's not like he's been practicing, just hasn't been able to play. He hasn't been able to do anything. So that's where I think you protect your franchise. You protect your franchise guy here and make sure that when he does go on the field, he's all systems go. And there's no, we can't do this in the game plan, or, he might have to think twice about getting out of the pocket because his knee's bothering him. That's no way to succeed. And then you're proving my point of why you can't throw him out there, because it's the Jet fans like you that'll just absolutely eviscerate him. Even if he played good and they lost, but it wasn't good enough, then Flacco should have started. So that's why it's a very smart decision, I think, and it's a tough situation.
Yeah. What do you imagine? It's a great question. Billy just texted it to me. What do you imagine Aaron Rodgers? Well, we can make him Marino, Billy, because the Jets passed on Marino, and they took Ken O'Brien. But let's do it with Aaron Rodgers. What do you imagine Rodgers' career would look like if he were drafted by the Jets?
It's a good question. I mean,
would he still be in the league?
You mean Carolina?
Well, see, this is to me where the Rodgers, the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Justin Herberts of the world, those guys right there, it wouldn't matter what team they were on. Now, they might not be what they are because they didn't have the system in place, but their talent is so great. It doesn't matter. It's just, maybe the coaches would have got fired and they've been cycling through, but we'd all been going, man, a little bit maybe like Matthew Stafford in Detroit. That's what it would have been like, where you go, he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback and he stinks and he never goes to the playoffs. And then the first time he gets on a real team, he wins the Super Bowl. That's what it would have been like if Aaron Rodgers was with the Jets.
A couple of quick ones. We'll get you out of here. Jimmy G, you surprised he's back with the Niners? And are you surprised that Trey Lance is reportedly upset that he's back with the 49ers?
Well, it's not an easy situation. It's not. And it's more pressure on Trey Lance. Now, Chris Sims, 6 weeks ago, would have been very surprised that Jimmy Garoppolo is back on the 49ers. I mean, they didn't want this to happen. They didn't. They can say whatever they want. And they told us that. I mean, we know that. But the circumstances themselves, nobody trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, and Trey Lance being very iffy through the preseason and in training camp, they got to protect their team. They have the best roster in football. I mean, for me, it's the best team in football. It's up in that discussion. It's O-line,
up there
top
with the Eagles,
Eagles, right? Dolphins, Bucks. those teams right there to me got special. I'll even throw Kansas City in the mix there. But they had to protect themselves. How could they have liked what they saw from Trey Lance in that third preseason game? That was scary. Right. And Stugotz, I after that game was on TV like banging the table, trying to talk to my friend Kyle Shanahan through the TV screen, going, sign Jimmy Garoppolo back. You can't take the chance of going with Trey Lance and Nate Sudfeld into the year with this football team. And then I was also yelling at the TV going, Jimmy Garoppolo, you need to sign back. What's a better option than San Francisco? Because for him, it's all about setting himself up for 2023. Going to Seattle or Houston or someplace that we don't know about, that wasn't going to be a good situation to set him up for success. So Trey Lance, who gets hurt, played twice last year, got hurt both games, and then is iffy playing all together. If Jimmy Garoppolo does get in, hey, you're in a system with a lot of talent around you, and that'll set you up for a big payday for 2023. So I think it was a win-win for both sides.
You mentioned the Chiefs. Do they look any different without Tyreek Hill?
First off, I'm really impressed with the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I do. I do. The Chiefs, first off, their offense has got creativity. Mahomes, to me, looks like the Mahomes before the foot injury, right? I was a guy last year, if you guys remember early in the year, I kept going, he doesn't move the same. I think his mechanics were a little off without getting too in the weeds about some of that. He was phenomenal this preseason. And I think there's going to be more of a spreading of wealth and, oh, wait, Tyreek Hill he is lined up here. We kind of know what they're going to do, right? Oh, when he's here, they know. You're not going to know. It could be, Mecole Hardman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce. So I think there's going to be a little bit more of like dissection through committee here. And what they've done on the defensive side, Billy, to me, that's the thing that's jumped out too. They got more depth on their D-line. They killed it in the draft. Justin Reed at safety in place of Tyrann Mathieu, an upgrade. So I really look at the Chiefs like quietly in the Super Bowl conversation, rebuilt their team and made themselves better this offseason. I think the Bills and the Chiefs are on a collision course. I really do. That's just the way I feel. I think we're going to see them in the AFC Championship game.
Mikey, yeah, go ahead. You have one on Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we're going to see the Russell Wilson of last year or the Russell Wilson for the decade before that.
Well, I think we're going to see like good Russell Wilson. I'm not one that sits here and goes, oh, just because they got Russell Wilson, the Broncos are going to the playoffs. I'm not picking the Broncos to go to the playoffs. I think, one, this is different than the Stafford to the Rams and Brady to the Bucks, where you go, wait, everything was in place. They just needed the quarterback. There's a lot of things that weren't in place. Plus, it's a new quarterback, a second-year GM, a new defensive coordinator, and a new defensive coordinator who's never called defensive plays. And then I also look at it and go, hey, I know there's potential, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, but I don't know, I got to see them reach that potential a little bit. KJ Hamler's been hurt a lot over his first 2 years. The O-line's just okay. And then I go, the defense, we know they got, pretty good secondary, but if Bradley Chubb isn't good, who else is there on the front seven that really scares you in Denver? And so in that division, that conference, I think they're a pain in the butt, but I don't look at them to be a playoff team. But I still think Russell Wilson is going to be pretty damn good, Mikey A.
Sim's last one here. The guy I expect to make the biggest leap at the quarterback position this year is Trevor Lawrence. Do you agree with that?
Oh, that's that. I mean, I was all with him, and I was on that with Zach Wilson. I was, again, because they got to, first to our main point of our conversation, that they have support around them. I think, with Trevor Lawrence, I think they got the offensive line in a pretty good spot. James Robinson and Travis Etienne at running back. Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Right. A real head coach. Exactly. Christian Kirk at receiver and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram, who's super talented at tight end, to where I go, yeah. And then his talent on top of that. I think we talked like what I saw from him in the Hall of Fame game. He's fixed some of his mechanical issues throwing the football. He admitted that to me. He thanked me for noticing it. And he looked really good in the preseason. He did. So Jacksonville is one of those teams that's super talented. They're young and they're not battle tested. But if we had to pick one team in the AFC where we were going, who's that Bengals team from the years before, right? I'm not saying Super Bowl, but that team that comes out of nowhere where all of a sudden in late December we're going, they might get in the playoffs. Jacksonville would be that team that I would pick because I think they got major talent across the board. They're just young and unproven.
You're probably going to be wrong about Zach Wilson, but 1 out of 2 isn't bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good. We'll see. We'll see.
When he comes back, Sims, I'm going to have a wager for you and I on Zach Wilson the rest of
Wow.
This is fine. I love this. These are things I'm used to.
Yes.
I love this. This is what I used to hear with Josh Allen and Mahomes and Herbert and all of them. So it's all right. When that day does come, I'm going to shove it up your ass big time.
The Unbuttoned Podcast. It's fantastic. Football Night in America will be all over your NFL coverage. And also, he hates Billy Gill. And he's also with us every week.
I'm getting there.
God bless football. Sims, can't wait to talk to you next week. We'll be 0-1. It will be fun. It will be fantastic. We'll make fun of the Jets.
Awesome. Always fun. And you're right. I mean, I started off this going, Billy's my friend. And by the end of this, we're just okay now. We're not great friends. I know. I understand.
By the end of the season, you'll bury it.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely will. Mikey A, screw you. I'll see you guys later. All right.
Hey, Coach.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for doing this.
No problem. Anytime.
How's it feel being 1-0, especially with that one coming over Notre Dame?
It feels a lot better than being 0-1, I can say that.
Listen, I have a Golic with me. Mike Golic Sr. was so upset that you beat him that he declined to partake in the interview. But his son is not nearly the coward that his dad is. His son is here. His son is here, Coach. Okay? Now, he's mad at you, too, because he's not happy that Notre Dame lost. But Mike Golic Jr. is here, and I can't promise you he'll be in a good mood. In fact, I guarantee you. Well, Mike, go ahead. You in a bad mood because Ohio State beat you on Saturday?
You know what? Like you said, being 1-0 would be a lot better than being 0-1 for the team that I root for. But it was an impressive atmosphere. And Coach, for you, when you guys went to, be a part of scheduling that game, we see in week 1 so many of these big time matchups of top ranked teams usually happening in offsite games or neutral ground games. What did it mean for you guys to make sure that this was a home and home type situation and that this game would get played in the shoe on week 1?
Yeah, for us, we play 9 conference games. And so to add a 10th game is a big challenge. But having an opportunity to play Notre Dame is unique, at home. And so it was certainly a great atmosphere. Meant a lot to our fans, meant a lot to the alumni, meant a lot to our players. And it was a great atmosphere, and so anytime you can, get a big win like that under your belt early in the season, it can go a long way.
Coach, I know you won. That feels good. You're 1-0. That's the point. Win, move on. But did you walk away from that game with any sort of concerns about your team?
One of the biggest, things that we spent a lot of time on in the off season was when teams want to control the clock, run the ball, and limit our offensive possessions. We had to be able to stop the run and run the football and run, especially in the second half and in the fourth quarter. And so to see the way we physically ran the ball and stopped the run was a job well done. Just to start, but, to take 7 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter and march the ball 95 yards down the field right at them when they kind of knew we were running the football is something we spent a lot of time on this off season. And, that's not typically how we win football games here in the last couple of years, but we have to be able to win in different styles. And when another team is trying to, shorten the game, we have to be able to win like that. So, that was great. But when you look at the film, there's always going to be a lot of things to improve on, and we have a lot of things to improve on. We got to build and grow, but it was a good start.
Coach, were you worried prepping for the game that you'd get distracted by how handsome Marcus Freeman is? Because we spoke to him yesterday, and holy crap, the guy's got charisma, and he won us all over. He was trying to recruit us.
Well, I got a lot of things to worry about, but I got to be quite honest with you, that wasn't one of them.
He is a handsome devil, though, isn't he?
I guess so.
Listen, you're a handsome guy as well. You really are. How do you keep the hair and the beard looking so perfect? Can you explain that to us? Because I am a sloppy mess, Coach.
Well, I am too, but try to do the best I can to clean up to at least look presentable. But I don't think you'd be very impressed right now. I'm not exactly someone who spends a lot of time worrying about their looks, quite honestly.
I'll have you know, Coach, that Coach Freeman said quite the opposite. He said when he went in for the handshake after the game that he was very impressed. And I'm not going to mince words here. There have been rumors that maybe there's some PD situation going on with the hair and the beard. He put an end to that. He said, absolutely not. Ryan Day is as true to color as it comes.
Well, after last year, there's a lot of grays coming through. I can promise you that. And those were not there a few years ago. But lose a couple games at Ohio State, and trust me, there's a lot of gray going on.
Yeah, Coach, what was that like? I mean, we know Ohio State's one of those places where you're defined at times by that one game with the team up north. And was there a different conversation this offseason after that? Was there any different reaction from the guys? How did you guys handle that and absorb that?
Yeah, that was not good. That was very, very difficult. And not too many places do you go 11-2, win the Rose Bowl, and be a difficult failure of a season. But it is at Ohio State, and we embrace that. And we know that our goals year in and year out are to beat the team up north, win the Big Ten championship, win the national championship. So we talked about it a lot in the off season, and we recognize what the expectations are here, and so went back to work about trying to get that fixed and what we didn't do great last year. I thought we addressed some of that in the first game, but it's going to be a long season.
Speaking of how you addressed that, the Jim Knowles hire everyone talked about, what's he feed those guys? There's got to be gunpowder mixed in that, because your guys' defensive front year to year was a wild swing to watch there. What's been the Jim Knowles difference? What does he do in that room with these guys?
I think it's a combination of two things. I think when you look at last season, we were very, very young across the board on defense. The COVID year really hurt us. We only played 5 regular season games, and in those 5 games, we didn't really have any blowouts where typically a lot of guys get in the game in the second half. So it was a good portion of our team that was very inexperienced, and certainly the front and our defense was part of that. Not to mention the quarterback and some of the guys on offense. But last year they gained a lot of experience. Some good, some bad. And when you combine that experience, some of those scars, and a great offseason combined with, Jim and the staff on defense, new scheme, new energy. I think that's what you got a chance to see on Saturday. And it's just a start.
Mike, did you just ask Ryan Day if one of his coaches feeds his players gunpowder?
I mean, I figure it might not be the number one item on the training table, but I mean, the get off I saw on that D-line, listen, as a former offensive lineman, I was like, there's something that doesn't feel right here, because these guys, they feel like they're running from something right now.
Coach, in doing some research here, I realized that were you a good quarterback, Coach?
Good's probably a relative term. I was out there. I played for a good scheme, and I was competitive, but I don't know how good I was.
Were you accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Chip Kelly was my offense coordinator and coach, and he recruited me. And so he set me up with a lot of nice bubble screens and things to get my completion percentage up, probably higher than it should have been. But I loved playing.
So we had Coach Kelly on last year, and he raved about you. But Mike and I, because you grew up in New Hampshire, I went to camp in Center Harbor, New Hampshire, and me and Chip Kelly always spoke. Coach, you know what I'm talking about here. Just nice, ice-cold beers by Lake Winnipesaukee. Is there anything better?
Not really, no. Either that or at the beach in the summer. New Hampshire's beautiful. You got the mountains, you got the lakes, and you have the ocean right there. So, yeah, you just put a smile on my face.
I brought you home, Coach. That's what I did.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Coach, what's been the hardest transition for you from where we were in college football just a couple of years ago into this new world with NIL? What's been the hardest transition?
I think there's a combination of things. I think the first thing is the transfer portal has certainly changed things and how, you coach, how you approach talent acquisition. That's been a major change. And also with the dynamic of your team. But I think, too, with NIL, you're starting to see in recruiting how that's affecting recruiting. And when you have a system in place that isn't easily enforced and there's a lot of gray involved, it can create a lot of hard feelings. So trying to navigate that is probably one of the bigger challenges right now. We're all trying to adapt the best we can, but certainly is a challenge.
All right, Coach, we're going to end this quickly with a quick game here of day or nay, okay? So I'm just going to say something. Day means you like it. Nay means obviously you don't like it, okay? Very quick.
Got it.
12-team playoff. Day or nay?
Day.
You like it, huh? The expanded playoffs? I just like having you in Alabama every year. Play like a champion signs. Day or nay?
Nay.
Yeah, that's right.
Golic, what you got?
Mike, they just set us up on that one, right? What am I going to say?
I say really, Coach, you know what? He put you in a bad position there. He threw you a fastball right over the middle, right into the safety. Right. Nothing you could do.
Nothing we could do there.
I saw the piece where you started playing tennis. So casual tennis players dressed like Borg. Day or nay?
Nay.
Thank you. You're familiar with that creature, aren't you?
I guess, but I don't subscribe to that.
How's your tennis game though?
Okay. It's been a while since I've played. Now the season started, but I just try to go over there with our tennis coach Ty Tucker, and he feeds me balls, and I just try to hit the ball as hard as I can and curse and yell, and then for about 45 minutes sweat, and then I move on.
So it's really just let out some aggression type thing. That's all it is.
That's exactly right. Good for the family and good for my relationships in the office.
Amazing that a football coach has to go to tennis to find an outlet for aggression to be released.
Right. What are we doing?
How about pickleball, day or nay?
Ooh.
That's day. I played a little this summer. I like pickleball. I like it.
It's having a moment. It's like Brussels sprouts. Glow up.
Mm-hmm.
Brussels sprouts, day or nay?
It depends on how they're prepared. There's a couple really good restaurants that make some really good Brussels sprouts, but it's got to have like some bacon and syrup and those kind of things on it. If it's just raw,
right,
no good.
Stugotz, I hate this now because you brought me on here, and now I really like Ryan Day. He just beat my team this weekend, and we have a lot of the same sensibilities now.
Sorry about that, Mike. All right, last one, and I apologize. This might be insensitive to you, but I've asked every single person we've had on this show. Peeing in the shower, day or nay?
Oh, man, I can't answer that publicly. I feel like that's a little
I think you just did.
I'll take it as a day. You converted a former Notre Dame player into an Ohio State fan, Coach. It's a good job out of you. Okay?
No, nothing but the utmost respect. No, all good.
Hey, we know you're busy. It's a busy time of year. Congratulations on the big win over Notre Dame. We appreciate you doing this, and good luck the rest of the season, Coach.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Running back, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
Here we go. K-Funk, what are you up to? Rough night?
Was a rough night, correct.
Yeah. Has the night ended yet?
Listen, let's just talk football, okay?
The fact that he doesn't have a drink, though, still kind of disappoints me.
I think there's a drink somewhere there. There it is.
There it is.
Red Solo Cup. Chris, what's happening? Do you think K-Funk has slept a wink?
He looks a little tired today, but I'm still looking more jacked than Mojo. That's all I know. 1 year later, still got him beat.
Yeah.
Even with his wedding training. Even with the wedding training, still can't catch up.
Wow.
Flipping, Mojo. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I just think it sounds stupid. You know, just to make foolish claims on this show on our first day back. He's just embarrassing himself at this point. You know, he's just such a fragile young boy. And to make these claims, I don't know. It's silly to me.
He's a big shot, though. We saw him on ESPN. I mean, he's a big shot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Are we going to have another baby on this show? Who's going to be the one to have one? Is it going to be you, Chris, or is it going to be you, Mojo?
Obviously, it's Billy or Mojo. They're the next.
Well, I think it's going to be Billy after that huge award that he just won. He's getting a lot of attention these days. He's not going to be able to fend him off, you know?
You know what, Mojo? Great award. I didn't get invited to your wedding. The one award I wanted. Very hurtful.
First of all, it's in all of your emails. I'm waiting for somebody to respond to this damn thing.
Wait, Mojo, are you claiming Mojo's getting married, by the way? Congratulations to Mojo. He's getting married in Italy. Okay. I got an invite. Billy might be my plus one. We'll see. But Billy.
You're not going.
Billy's got his own invite.
Mojo, no. Mojo, he's been upset. Let's do it this way. First off, Joba, you going to Mojo's wedding?
I gotta wait. Carter's got an invite to a baseball tournament that we gotta decide.
The head he play out of you. Send me that invite. Chris is going to Mojo's wedding. There's
99.99%.
All right, good. Leave that 0.1% down. I like that. K-Funk, K-Funk, are you going to Mojo's wedding?
I'm 69% right now. It's my son's 16th birthday, so we had some plans. So I'm trying to trying to work around that. We'll see.
Take
All right, so Mojo, hold up. Mojo is claiming that he invited everyone. Mikey A., are you going to the wedding?
Are you going to pay me?
Oh, that's a good point.
Wow.
Am I going to pay you?
Yeah, somebody's got to pay for that.
I'll give you $100 to go to Mojo's wedding for me. Yes. No problem. Enjoy yourself.
Listen, he's gonna need a little bit more than $100. I'll tell you that much. I got this invite 7. He's like, oh yeah, I'm getting married in 7 weeks. I click on the link. It's like $1,500 a night for this hotel room.
Oh, you ain't kidding. The whole thing, well, I mean, seriously, it would cost me $15,000 to go to Mojo's wedding. But here's the big question. Mojo, are you going to your wedding?
Y'all got it.
Mojo, are you attending your wedding?
I think I'm going to go. Stu Gatz, we signed the contract for the wedding at the venue literally 69 days from the date of the wedding.
Okay.
We waited a few months so we could do that.
I love you. It's fantastic. K-Funk, there is a guest in our Zoom right now. Would you like to introduce your guest here?
Offensive linemen, they don't get much attention these days. So I do have my good friend on, All-American from the University of Tennessee Volunteers. Got a national championship with Peyton Manning, also a Super Bowl ring with the Bucks. It's my boy Cosey Coleman on the line with us.
Cosey Coleman, how about that?
How we
Cosey,
doing?
are you going to Mojo's wedding or what?
I wasn't planning on it. Sounds like a good time.
Oh man,
there you go.
I mean, listen, you want to go to Italy? I'll take you. Me and you.
I've never been. I'm with it.
Cosey, give us a Peyton Manning college story. We want to hear about Peyton Manning college. That's what I want to hear about.
Wait, are you still friendly with Peyton?
Yeah, we friends. Most of these guys, man, we see each other when we see each other. It's not any daily a routine conversation. But whenever our paths cross, it's definitely love. I was a puppy. I was a freshman his senior year, so it was like, he was a god and I was a mere mortal. You know what I mean? So it was that type of scenario. But they did entrust me to play. I started some games as a freshman with Peyton on the field, so that was like Tennessee's pride possession. So they did have some trust in me. But from a personal standpoint, it was one day in practice, I jumped offside. And when I jumped offside, I'm mad at myself. I'm upset, but it happened so quick. I jumped. As soon as he got the snap, he threw the ball and hit me right in my head with the damn ball. But it happened so fast. I was like, wait, I was already mad at myself. And I'm like, I wasn't even sure if it really happened. It happened so fast. But he got the snap and just slung it at me like dumb freshman, stay on side.
Wait, so you're already upset with yourself and he makes matters worse, is what you're saying?
He makes matters absolutely worse. And it's like, okay, under normal circumstances, it may be some type of reaction, but it's like Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? He's
right.
Mr. Untouchable.
Yes. Yeah. He sounds like an asshole, I got to be honest with you. But with that being said, Colsey, get him on. Okay? Try to get him on the phone.
Bring him on next week.
With them.
Wait, Colsey, do you have his number, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I think I have an old email, man.
Oh, that's
all right. That works.
Yeah,
I mean,
try that.
We'll try anything at this point.
He's got Manning's Hotmail.
If next week I somehow connect you with Peyton, and I can, you'll be able to ask him to join us next week on this pod, okay? Because you're coming back. You know that, right? That's the deal.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So check my connection. If I had to reach out, this is how football works. So Peyton is still good friends with his center, our center from college, who's an offensive lineman.
There you go. Connect the
I'm
dots.
still good friends with that guy. His name is Trey T. Played with the Buffalo Bills, Denver Broncos. So I don't know the man, but I'm real good with the man next to the man. How about that?
Billy's thinking what I'm thinking. Next week, Colsey, you bring on your friend who was the center, okay? And then we'll get the center to reach out to Peyton Manning, okay?
It's a 3-week it's a 3-week process to get Peyton.
It's fine as long as we get to Peyton.
K-Funk, you're not invited back though. Chris, so Rob's like training for what? Like, what are we thinking? Like week 8 comeback, week 9 comeback? Yeah. Like, when is he? Yeah, just playoffs.
After Mojo's wedding.
Oh, that's true.
I think
that's why I retired, Bill.
That's exactly why it was for my wedding. That's silence all the doubters out there.
Wait, so Chris, what are you thinking there? Like, is Billy right? Like week 8, week 9? What do you?
I mean, I think he's gonna kind of get back into football, kind of, want to start talking about it kind of week 3, week 4. And then, I'm thinking like 5 or 6, I think we can get him on.
Get him on.
I think he'll be ready.
We're talking about him going back to the NFL.
Yeah, we're talking about we're not going to be playing again. Yeah.
Well, Stu Gatz, he's got his 2nd annual retirement party this weekend. So once that's through, he can get that checked off, and then the comeback starts.
All right, but we need Bobby Goons too, right?
Always.
Well, Bobby Goons is big time. He got a better shot with Rob.
I saw Bobby Goons post a video like a Ferrari. Did he get a Ferrari?
He took a picture next to a Ferrari.
I saw Bobby Goons really excited about getting a trailer a couple weeks ago.
He did. He did get a trailer. He also drove the Gronk bus all the way from New England to my house. So I'm now the proud owner of the Gronk bus. So
wait, what?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. If you're ready to party, let me know.
Is that for all your kids to transport all your kids to school and shit, or what?
It is.
Is the Gronk bus out in the driveway right now?
It is, yeah.
Oh, I mean, can we get a tour? I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, go take it over.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You want to give us a tour of the bus? Holy shit. Oh, my God. You joined us on the right week, my friend. I mean, holy shit. We're getting a tour.
The Gronk bus used to be for partying, but now it's for
That's the party bus?
It was.
It's pretty legit. Let me go. I'll go in it.
Is there a stripper pole in the bus or no?
Absolutely.
Not in this one. The other one. There's 2 of them.
There's a big one and a smaller one.
Mojo, we are off to a rousing start here. We're going to tour the Gronk bus. We have Cosey on with us. He's bringing the center on. The center's going to get Peyton Manning. We got Gronk coming on in 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, things are happening. Joba's going to get Justin Verlander. He didn't promise me that. I am just making promises that Joba has not promised me, but he will get Justin Verlander.
He's hurt right now, so we're probably going to have to lay off that one for.
We'll wait till the season's over.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, but a question. Because you can probably answer this, like, until you're officially retired, like, you have to file paperwork, correct?
It is, but you pretty much I think you officially retire when you accept your severance. You know what I mean? Because you got to realize guys, even in Gronk case, guys kind of step down, but then still be waiting for a phone call, and they may get that phone call. But I think once you start tapping into some of your benefits, your severance, your workman's comp, that pretty much establishes that you're done.
But you were asking because we're wondering if Gronk has filed the paperwork, the proper paperwork.
100%.
We know he hasn't. Even if he intends on retiring, we know he hasn't done the paperwork yet.
Is Chris firing this thing up or what?
He's pushing a bunch of buttons.
Joe, Gronk is your best friend. Do you think he's filed that paperwork?
Hell no. He hasn't filed shit. That guy's, I've said it since day one. I'm not believing this hoax. He's coming back. There's no doubt in my mind. This is BS. It's a great way to get out of camp in the early weeks of the season when they don't need you. There's no way he's done. I don't care what anybody says.
If Brady calls him, he's not going to say no. I mean, that's the story.
So Chris is now currently in the Gronk bus. It's in his driveway. I love this family.
It's like right in the middle of, like, anyone driving through his neighborhood can see this thing.
I know. It's amazing. The Gronks don't care, Billy. I mean, they don't give a shit. Chris
lives on a compound. He's got plenty of room.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, not yet. I move in January.
Oh.
Where to the compound?
Yeah.
Need any help?
I got 9 bedrooms, so you guys want to come stay, let me know.
Hold on. Time out. Time to
9 bedrooms?
Well, he's 5 kids away from filling them.
Exactly.
You can stay in the bus too.
How many
I feel like the bus might be a little sticky.
Ice shaker shit.
5 minutes to walk from his bedroom to the bus in the old small house.
Wait, Chris, what you're hitting a bunch of buttons there. Like, tell us what's going on inside the bus.
So he's on the bus. The whole bus is back out on lights, but I don't know how to turn them on.
Oh my God!
I wanted to see the bus.
Okay.
It looks like a good time.
Chris Gronkowski is currently in his driveway in a bus.
Trying to figure out how it works.
I'll show you without the lights on, but
oh my God!
But here it is, man, decked out.
Are those all the Super Bowl trophies?
So you got signed jerseys, signed helmets.
Holy shit!
You got the game worn cleats.
Okay,
it's all captain seats too. And
why is it so clean?
Because Gordy was on it.
Gord.
Here's the Super Bowl tickets right here in the front.
Man.
So yeah, overall, here's some gloves right here.
Is it wrapped? There's a wrap?
Yeah, it's wrapped. Yeah, hold on.
Check that out.
Billy, we got to do something with this bus. I don't know what we do with it, but we got to do something with it.
We haven't followed through on anything we've promised so far.
I know.
Yeah,
look at that bus though.
Dude, that's just
casually sitting in a driveway.
Where is he located? That's in
Here's my
Texas.
house.
Does the HOA approve of that?
There's no chance.
Yeah, they're cool with it. They said it helps sell the houses.
Rob sits on the board. Okay,
HOA president.
Cosey, what do you think of that bus, man? I think we should go party on that thing. What do you think?
Man, pull up. I'm trying to see where he at. Where he located at? I'm trying to get there.
You're trying to get there right now.
Look, this weekend, what we doing? K-Funk, where the bus at?
Hey, let's go. Shit.
Listen up, man. I'll be in Dallas November 5th for the FIU.
Okay, Cosey's checking out the calendar.
Here we go.
Yeah. November 5th for the FIU North Texas game. My
Pause
son
up.
plays for FIU. I'll be in town.
That's
What we
right.
doing?
Pause up, Cosey.
I mean, I'll join you, but do I have to go to the game?
You and I, we just the after party. Then you got to go to the game.
All right.
You just stay in the bus. You stay in the bus. You don't even leave the bus.
Here we go. First game, Ravens at Jets. Joe Flacco, revenge game. 4 years in the making. Ravens are a 7-point favorite on the road. Lamar Jackson is going to play even though he shouldn't play. K-Funk, I'm going to start with you. Ravens -7 at the Jets.
I can never bet on the Jets in my life, so I'm going to take the Ravens.
All right, Chris, we go to you.
I'm going with K-Funk on this. Give
All
me
right.
the Ravens.
All right, going Ravens. Cosey, we go to you. Ravens -7 at Jets.
Ravens.
Ravens
Sure.
this is an easy one.
Easy.
Spread master, go ahead.
You see, this one's kind of dangerous, Stugotz, because we're talking about a 7-point spread, which is, of course, very close to 6.9, which is the magic number.
Yeah.
But because of this, and because your boy's a Maryland guy all the way, I gotta take the points and pick the Ravens.
Actually,
All right.
giving points, Mojo. You're not taking them.
Right, right. You're giving points. You're giving up 7 points. You start the game down
No,
7-0,
you
just
guys-
so you know.
the spread master
It doesn't
knows.
matter. He's the winner.
Why are
He's
you guys
the
talking to me
champion.
like
K-Funk,
I
don't you
didn't
dare.
dominate last
K-Funk, listen, whatever he's doing is working. Like, don't leave him the alone. He's the spread master, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Jabba, what are you eating over there?
Jabba, what's going on here?
What are you woofing down there?
I just had food delivered. I ordered an omelet.
Jabba, heads is Ravens, tails is Jets, okay?
Tails.
All right, you have the Jets.
Wow.
Sorry.
Are you
You're the
guys-
only one who has the Jets, Jabba. That bodes well for you, you know?
That's good.
A home dog getting 7 points. I like that.
If Mojo's taking the Ravens, I want to go opposite.
Okay, so Chris is now taking the Jets. Good.
Oh, Chris is
Yes.
You
Please.
can't do that after you.
Please, yes, please.
Week one.
He's already going against them. It's unbelievable.
There's no way. There's no way he's going to pull it off again in year 2.
Eagles -4 at Detroit.
I'm gonna go Eagles, man. Eagles. I think the Eagles have more upside. Jalen Hurts and that cast that they have around him. They have potential. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. K-Funk, who you going with?
God, I'm going to take the Lions.
You going Lions?
Yep.
Okay. Chris, you want to hear Spreadmaster's
Yeah,
pick first, Chris? All right,
Yeah,
Spreadmaster,
let's-
go ahead. Who you taking?
Well, I'm going to go with the Lions, baby. Give me the Lions. They just had Eminem at practice, so they're hyped up, and they're on Hard Knocks, and we always know how well those teams do. So give me the Lions.
Okay, that's really, I love the way. Who are we to question you, to be honest with you? Chris, I'm assuming you're going Eagles then, right?
For every reason that Mojo just said, I am going to go with the Eagles.
Okay. Well played, sir. Jabba, heads Eagles, tails Lions. You flipping it?
Tails.
Tails Lions. How about that? Patriots at Dolphins. It's going to be 1,000 degrees down here. Dolphins -3. Patriots coming in with Mac Jones, who I don't think is terribly good, but I should not put my opinions in here because it's up to you guys to decide. Chris, go ahead.
Seems like the Dolphins always have the Pats number at home, so I'm going Dolphins.
K-Funk, go ahead.
I'm a lifelong Dolphins fan, and you hit that right there. We don't
All right.
lose to the Patriots at home. I'm taking the Fins.
Kelsey, who you got?
I think this is another tough one, man. It's hard to ever write Belichick out. But I'm excited to see what Miami has to do this year. So I'm gonna go Dolphins at home.
All right, Dolphins at home. Mojo, who you going with? Chris went Dolphins, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Master.
Okay. So here's the thing, Stu, guys. I'm gonna be at this game actually because the Dolphins actually hired me to host the Pit Viper tailgate. So since the Dolphins are literally paying for me to be at this game, I'm gonna say the Patriots.
Are you really going to be doing that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Coming through or what?
No. I mean,
I was going to be doing it before I just picked the Patriots. Now they'll probably cut the contract, but that's okay.
No, they'll be okay. I'll come for the Dolphin Jet game if you're still doing it by then.
Mojo better get used to this now because when he has kids, he ain't going to be able to travel the world.
He ain't going to be able to do shit. Yep.
Bringing them with me.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah, right.
They got to get ordained to the hype life early.
That's not happening. Joba, we go heads Patriots, tails Dolphins.
Tails.
Wow. The Dolphins. Okay. Browns at Panthers, revenge game. Baker Mayfield. Panthers at home. Panthers minus 2.5. Browns without Deshaun Watson for at least 11 weeks here. So let's go to Chris first. Chris, who do you got?
I'll go Panthers here.
I think this is an easy one. K-Funk, who you going with?
Yeah, I'll take the Panthers.
Okay. Colsey, who you going with?
Yeah, Panthers on this one.
All right.
The spread master takes the Panthers.
Okay, so let's go to the coin. So we have heads for the Browns, tails for the Panthers. Joba's flipping.
Tails.
Tails. Wow. Okay. Buccaneers at Cowboys. Buccaneers, Tom Brady, a pissed off Tom Brady, minus 2.5 at Dallas. We'll go to K-Funk first. Go ahead.
Can't go against Brady, so I'm going to take the Bucs.
Okay. Spread master, go ahead.
We're taking Tampa Bay, baby.
Chris, go ahead.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys here then.
Colsey, who you going with?
Yeah, bias pick here, man, but Buccaneers all day.
Mm-hmm. All right, Buccaneers all day.
Super Bowl champ, baby.
Joba, heads is Bucks, tails is Cowboys. Flipping it.
Holy shit, tails again.
All right, you got the Cowboys. That's not a bad pick, though. All right, last game, gentlemen. Here we go. Broncos minus 6.5 at Seahawks. K-Funk, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Broncos, and then I'm gonna do a bonus pick here.
What?
Tonight? Hey, tonight is first game, and we don't even pick the Bills.
Yeah, but this airs tomorrow.
Yeah, but this airs tomorrow.
Keep it all in, Billy. Keep it all in. Make the pick. No, let's make the pick and see if you're right tomorrow. Let's go.
Just tell it for shits and giggles. Who's your bonus?
Just do
pick?
it. Who?
I told you the Bills tonight gonna up the Super Bowl champs.
All right, the Bills are going to up the Super Bowl champs. Yes. All right, Chris, who do you got?
I'll go.
Not in the game tonight, in the game that I just asked for. Broncos minus 6.5 at Seattle.
I'll take the spread. We'll go with the Seahawks.
Oh, you're going with Seahawks. You're taking the points.
I'll take the points. Yeah.
All right.
I'll take the spread and I'll take the Broncos.
How about that? All right. I love you. Colsey, who you going with?
The Broncos, Russell Wilson, comeback game. Yeah, revenge game for sure.
All right, Joba, here we go. Final flip of the coin here. Heads is Denver. Tails is Seattle.
This thing is tails again? Hold on.
Tails.
Are there heads on there? Is there heads?
Is there
Yeah,
heads
it's a
on
two-sided coin.
All right, we will figure out the Gronk bust and what we're going to do with it next week. I'm not even certain we can do anything with it, but we'll figure out if we can. Mojo, on the way out, would you like to promote anything? You want to promote Chris's, anything for Chris, anything for Joba, anything for me, yourself, Colsey, K-Funk? Go ahead, just promote. Have fun.
You want me to start? You remember how self-conscious Chris gets when I promote before him?
All right, Chris. Well, I just figured I figured we're done with Chris promoting anything, so we've already moved past that.
You should start with the big jugs.
What you holding up there, Chris? I'll tee you up on this one and help you out.
You got it, man.
Chris,
you can take it over.
Chris, by the way, I asked for one like 6 months ago and still haven't got it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. They sold out, and then I forgot.
They sold out.
I'm just trying to tee him up to dunk it. Let's go.
Are we really promoting a product that's sold out that the fans can't even obtain?
They're back in stock now.
There you go. They're only sold out if you want it for free. And you want Chris to mail it to you.
It was for my son.
They sold out for like 2 months.
Right. But now they're back.
They're back.
How big are
we just
they,
got them
Chris?
back. Oh, they're big. If you like big jugs, we got you covered.
Or do they stay as cold as the small ones for as long, or what?
Yeah, these all day 3 days straight, 72 hours right here.
And you can customize the color and engrave them, Chris?
Yeah, we're rocking the Bucks colors right here. The red, the black fade.
How have you been on Shark Tank and sold millions of these units and you suck this bad at being a salesman?
I just depend on you to do it.
All right, Mojo, you want to promote anything for yourself on the way out?
Yeah, I think what I'll promote today, I've had an entire off season to think about this one. But today, I want to promote the return of God Bless Football, baby, because the boys are back. This first episode, I couldn't possibly think about promoting a brand when the award-winning show half returned. The Dream Team has reunited for the first time in almost a year. Boys, we won the best sports podcast ever last year, and Billy won best sports podcast person ever last season, and we had to rally the troops to bring it back for what is going to be the most incredible, outrageous, most hyped season to date. If you thought last year was crazy, you've seen nothing yet. And that being said, run over to superjeweler.com where they have the highest quality but lowest price jewelry you've ever seen in your life. Use code Mojo at checkout.
All right, boys. Good luck. Cosey, welcome to the crew here. And we look forward to the center joining us next week and eventually Peyton Manning, okay?
Thanks for having me, fellas. Absolutely.
All right, man.
All right, Coach.
God bless football.
God bless football, gentlemen. All right, boys. Enjoy your weekend, man.
All right, you too, guys.